Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then welcome. My name is Kristina, and today we are doing another Curbing Makeup Cravings video. And in this video series, we are talking about all of the brand new makeup launches and releases that we are hearing about. I'm going to be sharing with you guys my thoughts on all of them, and at the same time, I'm trying to curb my own cravings to buy all of this new makeup. Some of these launches are interesting to me, others not so much, but either way, I'm going to be pulling stuff out of my personal collection that either resemble or remind me of these brand new launches so that maybe we can successfully curb the craving. I'm scooting over so we can pop up some photos and stuff here so you guys can kind of see what I'm talking about as we do this. But I have a list of different things, and I usually pull new makeup releases from Trend Mood One's Instagram account. However, a lot of these products that we're going to be talking about today have already released. I did want to kind of cover them because I haven't talked about some of these, and some of them are very, very tempting for me. I'm not going to lie. So starting off with a brow product, L'Oreal is releasing the Faux Brow Ultrafine Double Brush Tip Brow Filling Pen. Is that the official name? Because if it is, that is quite a name. Are those just like keywords? Like, are brands just pulling keywords now so that people can easily find them? So this is going to be a brow pen. And as you can see here, this is a funny little brow pen. It has two prongs. It kind of resembles like a little devil horn thing or like this thing, which is very interesting to me. At first when I saw this, I was kind of like, what is this gonna do? The packaging is nice. I think it's a little bit different. When I first saw this, I thought that this was a one-size product, to be honest. The description says, create a naturally fuller brow. A double brush effortlessly mimics brow hairs for a doubled look in one precise stroke. Immediately, I thought about the new Benefit brow pen. They just re-released their brow pen that has the three prongs on them. And so far, people have been talking about them and saying that they really enjoy this reformulation, this repackaging of sorts. I was definitely interested. This one, I'm not quite sure, because as you guys can see, I have a lot of brow hairs. I do have sparse areas, especially in my tail end, but something like this L'Oreal brow pen kind of makes me nervous because I kind of feel like I won't be able to be as precise as I want to because I'm going to be having to look at two different prongs at the same time. Whereas something like a regular brow pen that has just one brush here, I can easily go in to the areas that are more sparse. I am lucky enough to where I don't have like no brows and I have to completely fill in my entire brow. I know not everyone has that experience. By the way, everything that I'm using, if I don't say it in the video, I will have linked down below for you guys. I do think that this product is probably more geared towards those that have more sparse brows, people that need more detail, like they have to kind of sculpt their brows from the ground up type of thing. So I'm not sure that I am the target audience for this. I am interested to see it though, just because it's a new concept, you know, just having the two prongs instead of the one or the three. It's like right there in the middle. And I have been having really good luck with L'Oreal brow products. I think that they are great. So I don't doubt that the product is going to be good. It's just the mere fact of, is this going to be more useful for my usage, and is it gonna kind of implement into my routine more than what I already have, you know? We have quite a few eyeshadow releases actually that I want to talk about. Some of these are exciting to me. Some of them, again, are not that exciting. So the first one I want to talk about is the new Natasha Denona Bloom palette. So she came out with another one of the larger eyeshadow palettes, the powder eyeshadow palettes. Undoubtedly, this one is beautiful. The packaging, again, is so beautiful. I just really love the Natasha Denona packaging. It has 15 shades. It's a mix of mattes and shimmers. Peachy warm-toned shade assortment, complemented by rich burgundy and mauve hues that capture the essence of blooming flowers and the radiance of beloved warm spring sunny days. I have such a hard time saying Denona. When I say it quickly, I always like stumble over it, but something about these palettes, they're all just variations of each other at this point. So the I Need a Nude palette, really interesting, was more of a cool toned nude palette, perfect for the time that it released. I Need a Warm palette was a warmer version of the I Need a Nude. We saw a lot of brown tones, a lot of rich earthy tones. Really, really enjoyed that one. I actually picked up both of those. I didn't pick them up upon on release. I did end up getting both of them when I could get a sale on them, and I enjoy both of them a lot. And then now we have the Bloom palette. I thought it was I Need a Bloom, but it's just Bloom palette. To be quite honest with you guys, if I didn't already own the I Need a Warm palette, I would probably pick up this Bloom palette. These more peachy toned, more mauvey toned eyeshadows, these days I think are kind of speaking to me a little bit more. I feel like they give me just a little something when it comes to a pop of color without being too aggressive and out there. But these look gorgeous, and I would say you probably don't need it if you already have the other two 15 pan shadows. I did pull a couple of palettes though that are in my collection that you may already have that, you know, kind of are similar in my opinion. I'm not going to be putting these on. I was thinking about it. Maybe I will. I don't know. So firstly, the Danessa Myricks Groundworks palette. This is the Blooming Romance. So the one that's more pinky, peachy, rosy hues. This has a scent, which I always think is so interesting. I don't use this as much as I thought I would. When the first Groundwork palette came out, I waited and I waited, and then this one came out and I was like, I'm sold. This is beautiful. And I barely use this. So another reason why I don't need the Natasha Denona one. These are all mattes. They're cream and powder, if you guys are familiar, and they're gorgeous. I thought that this would be really great to use as blushes as well as eyeshadows, and I've used it a little bit as a blush, but mainly I've used them as eyeshadows. This formulation is really nice. It's kind of more of a dry cream when it comes to these creamy shades. Mine I feel like are really dry. You can kind of see right there, it created a really big dent. It's sort of like a putty. I don't remember if it was like that when I first got it. It's more of a dry cream, so when you put them on the eyes, they sort of like turn into a powder type of texture, which is really nice when it comes to eyeshadow. Another one that I immediately thought about, Sigma's Corderosa. I just have the mini palette. This does come in a larger pan palette. These are absolutely beautiful and so slept on. The Sigma eyeshadow formulation I think is so buttery. It does have a lot of kickback because it is so buttery, but I don't find that that's an issue. These are incredibly pigmented. The shimmers that they have, unbeatable. They are so beautiful and buttery. Some of them pull very metallic and others are just like a shimmer. Like this, oh my gosh, that is absolute gorgeousness. Look at that. I might have to put that on my eyes today. It has been quite a while since I've used this palette. I feel like not enough people talk about Sigma eyeshadows, and I totally get it because it's not as available as things that you can pick up at Ulta or things you can pick up at Sephora. Like you definitely have to sit there, look at all the swatches online and decide if it's going to be something that actually translates the same in person. And I can tell you guys that every Sigma palette that I have received has been so beautiful, buttery, pigmented. I will say they are more on the pigmented side, so you have to kind of go in with a lighter hand if you're similar to me where you kind of like washes of color more than just like really bold eyeshadows. And then lastly, I have an Asian brand. This is the Clio Pro Eye palette. This is number 4 Street Brick, and this is in that same family, that same realm. I would say this one is reminiscent to it. I won't say that it's exact, but I do think this is closer than the Natasha Groundwork palette. This has the same look and feel, but the Clio one and the Sigma one, I would say, will probably give you closer shades, like specific shades that are similar. So that's kind of my thought. I'm not going to be picking up this Bloom palette. I don't think it's necessary. I have plenty of other eyeshadows that are kind of in that same family. Another release, and what I am going to be putting on my eyes in comparison, are going to be the Ilia Eye Stylus eyeshadow crayon stick things. Ilia released brand new eyeshadow sticks, and if you guys know me, I love an eyeshadow stick. I love how convenient they are. I love how creamy they are. I love that most of the time they are one and done. You don't have to fuss with your eyeshadows, you know? So there are 20 mattes and shimmer shades, It says that they draw upon the hues of Renaissance oil paintings. I did not know that. That's pretty cool. It's art inspired, so that makes sense. They're supposed to last on the eyes for up to 12 hours. I do find with a lot of eyeshadow sticks, they do have great wear time. Most of the time, I don't have to wear an eyeshadow primer. There are the one-offs that I do though. These are available now. They came out February 20th. So I have my eye on the shade Brocade, and you guys know that Kulfi has a cream shadow that's called Bronze Brocade, and not only are they named pretty much the same thing, but the actual shades are very similar. It's like this rich bronze tone, but I feel like the Ilia one is going to be a little deeper than the Bronze Brocade one, which I kind of really love. And then the shade Regal is a shimmering plum bronze, which on the models, this looks gorgeous. This looks like it would be a smoky, sooty type of smoky eye on me. Oh, it looks so pretty. Gilded is nice, the golden copper shimmer, but I feel like that might pull a little bit orange on me. And then for pops of color, the shade Nymph, it's a matte lilac pink. I always love the look of a lilac pink or lilac purple or something along those lines, but how often do I wear it, you know? I'm probably better off getting one of the bronze shades, to be honest, but I pulled a bunch of eyeshadow sticks that I own that I think are probably going to be similar within the same realm of at least the shades Brocade and Regal and Gilded. I don't think I have anything similar to Nymph. I do have some cream shadows I think that may be similar, but I'm more tempted to get Brocade. So I want to see if I can curb that with something similar that I have. First off, the Rare Beauty shadow stick in the shade Contentment. This does pull a little bit rose gold here. So you can see right there. On me though, I think that it's a little cool like on my eyes. I have this one. This is an Asian brand as well. Focalure, and it's in the shade number 8. It's just their eyeshadow pencil. I've been playing around with this one, and this is one that I do have to wear a eye primer with. It's very nice and creamy, but look at that. It's a nice chocolate bronze shade. Like this is definitely more on the brown side of things versus copper side of things. And then if we want to get more into the copper side of things, I have this ColourPop shadow stick in the shade Cuoca. It's a metallic. I don't know if this is still available. This one is quite old, but I think that this one's actually going to be the closest one to the Brocade, because you can see it's a little bit more on the neutral side versus like a warm, rich brown. I think I'm going to use that. Maybe I'll use a combination of all of these shadow sticks. I hate that I'm not more adventurous, but it is what it is. I do plan on doing a shop with me at Sephora and Ulta, and I really want to swatch these in person. I have seen a couple of reviews on these already, and they seem quite pigmented, if I'm being honest. They look like they give off a good wash of color, but you can also build them up. I'm really struggling with this one, you guys. I'm so tempted. I'm like, maybe I'll get one, or maybe I'll wait until the Sephora sale, because that should be coming up soon. I think last year it was in April or the end of March or something like that. And I'm already starting to kind of build my love list, like my favorites list on Sephora, so I can slowly start to decide what might be worth getting. 20% isn't like a huge amount of a discount, but if there's something that is still piquing my interest when the Sephora sale comes around, I think it might be worth it to pick it up versus getting it full price now, you know? I like this ColourPop shadow stick color. I don't know if it's because mine is getting a little bit old, but it dries so fast. Like I have to work really quickly, and I work in sections with this because it does not give me a long time to blend, I'll tell you that. It is really pretty. I feel like the glitter in this one though is kind of more apparent than what I remember. Like it looks like I have a brown base and then I just popped a bunch of sheer glitter on top of it. So I'm not crazy about that right now. I'm going to use a matte. So I'm going to use Bobbi Brown's Cinnamon just along my crease to kind of blend everything together and get it to look a little more brown. While we're here, let's go ahead and talk about the new product that Haus Labs just announced. Oh, that's deep. We got real smoky real fast just now. Okay, we'll just roll with it. that was way more than I wanted to do. Haus Labs Bio Radiant Glassy Highlighter Balm. This is a multi-use highlighter stick. It says it gives you glass skin with hydration. These come out March 4th. It says there are 6 shades of this, and honestly, the shades look actually very beautiful. I think there's a good variation. None of them look like they would be the same, you know? But I do think that because they're highlight, they are gonna have a little bit more of a sheer pigmentation, so maybe I'm wrong about them looking different on the skin. They're kind of this smaller stick. They look like they're gonna be a short, like chubby stick type of thing, and in the videos of them applying it, it really does look like it gives the models glass skin. I think that's so beautiful. And as with pretty much all of the Haus Labs products, every single product does tout that it has skincare benefits to it. I can tell you all of the Haus Labs products, while they have that skincare in them, with all makeup products that have skincare, you're gonna have to use it every single day for weeks, maybe months to even see a difference, especially if you're not using any type of skincare that's benefiting your skin in your routine, you know? I think I'm more concerned about the negative effects of makeup on my skin. Like, I don't want makeup to negatively affect my skin versus prioritizing makeup that's going to boost my skin, because I rely on actual skincare products to help my skin versus makeup helping my skin. So I don't know. Is it more of a marketing thing to be able to say, hey, we're not gonna hurt your skin, we're gonna help your skin with all of these products? Do I think that these skincare ingredients are capable of doing what these brands claim? Yeah, I do. It's possible that these skincare ingredients can do these things, but will it with this one highlighter stick? You know? Probably not. So I guess what I'm trying to say is maybe don't put so much emphasis on these skincare ingredients, more so if the makeup is going to give you the look you want, you know? Does that make sense? I hope it does. Now I want to use this shimmer from the Sigma Corderosa eyeshadow palette. This is the shade Belle of the Ball, and I'm taking this BK A504 brush, and I'm just going to use this like on the first third of my eye. I'm craving that shimmer now after I swatched it. It just gave me that like wet effect. Don't sleep on Sigma eyeshadows, you guys. They are really nice. Anyways, back to the Haus Labs highlighter sticks. When I saw this, I thought about the L'Oreal Glassy Balm Le Glace highlight sticks. I just talked about that one in a drugstore video. And while I like that, it doesn't completely dry down. But the thing with these is that I heard with the Haus Labs cream like stick blushes, those, while they looked really glassy, actually dried down pretty well on the skin. I heard some people with oily skin say that. So I am curious to see if these also dry down but still give you that glassy look. I would assume they would preserve that technology for the highlighting sticks if they did it with their blush sticks. But for me, I feel like I've had a lot of highlighters come my way recently and I'm not utilizing them the way that I really want to. Let's move on and talk about some blushes while I do my complexion. I am going to be using the Versed Multi-Serum Skin Tint SPF 40. I have the shade 60, and I'm also going to be using the brush. I heard it blends really well with the sponge too. I've used this a couple of times. I'm still forming my opinion on it. So I want to talk about a couple blushes that I'm so tempted by. First one, the Tower 28 GetSet Blur Plus Set Matte Powder Blush. This one's very hard for me because with almost every Tower 28 release, I purchase it. I just love Tower 28. They are truly one of my favorite brands. Their products just kind of speak to me, you know? They're like no fuss, usually creams and liquids that just like blend seamlessly into the skin. I just love them. This one is very hard, very tempting for me. They're only coming out with a couple of shades, which right now I'm actually appreciative of, because these days when it comes to color cosmetics, if there is a huge extensive line that you pick from and all of the shades are sort of the same, it just gets to be overwhelming, and then I sit there for way too long trying to decide, and then I'm annoyed at myself for doing that. Whereas with this, they're coming out with 6 shades, and they're all pretty different. They all kind of cover all of the different categories when it comes to your most basic blushes. You have your pink shade, you have your rose shade, you have your nudie beige shade, and you have your berry. So all of these, in my opinion, look beautiful. And I saw the Lipstick Lesbians talking about the formulation of this, and they just sell me on everything. They can convince me to buy literally anything, and it's so bad. They're so good at their job, honestly. I'm really looking at Long Beach Iced Tea. It's described as an earthy rosy pink, and it says that it's a setting blush. So it has setting powder infused within the blush pigment of it. And as an oily girl, to me, that sounds like the most incredible multitasking product. It has kaolin clay, which is great for oily skin because it controls shine, squalane, so it helps with hydration as well, and hydrophobic silica that improves sweat resistance. So because of that setting powder technology, it says that this is pore blurring, smoothing, and has a splash of a vibrant color. So the swatches that I've seen on these, they do look very pigmented, super, super vibrant, which I think is a nice contrast to their cream, like Beach Please lip and cheek creams. I feel like those tend to be a little bit more subtle just because the nature of the creams, they blend out more. I don't know if I like this brush to blend the skin tint out. I've used other brushes and I think they just work better. I think this one may be a little too dense for my liking. Now, I don't know if I own any blushes that claim to have like a setting powder within it. I definitely have blushes that claim to have a long lasting power, so maybe that means they do have the same characteristics as a setting powder. But for this one, it's the color that I'm mainly really interested in, and the closest thing that I can find that has a similar vibe, other than my standard like Haus Labs Fire Moon, I think this is actually going to be kind of similar to Fenty Bacon Cakes, but this I think is even closer. This is the Florisis Peony Dream Cream Blush. It says cream, but I'm pretty sure this is a powder. It feels like a powder. It's in the shade 13 Morning Rays, and it is a beautiful like rosy tone, but when I actually swatch it out on myself, it looks like more of a muted tone here. And I think this is pretty similar to the Long Beach Iced Tea because it has a little bit of that rosy tone in it, but it still has that grounded earthy tone to it as well. This formula is so beautiful. It's so finely milled and it blurs the skin instantly. Really, really nice formulations. I'm going to be testing this one out, playing around with it a little bit more in the next couple of weeks to kind of hopefully keep myself from buying the Tower 28 one when it comes out. Those come out March 13th, so I have some time. I have some time to just kind of forget about it. But if they do send it to me in PR, I will definitely share with you guys my thoughts on them. Okay, next we have the Saie powder blushes. These are the SuperSuede talc-free powder blushes. I was actually reading the comments on this one, and everyone seems to be tired of all of the blush launches, and everyone's like, who's buying all these blushes? And then I'm sitting here kind of like, I'm trying not to. I really am trying not to, but it's so tempting for me to buy these and compare all of the formulas, even if the shades are similar. And I know that's such a waste of money. I know it's such a waste of money. So these Saie blushes, again, only comes in 6 shades, which right now I really appreciate that they're not bombarding us with a ton of shades. And again, they're kind of covering the basics. They do have this fun, soft, cool baby pink in the shade Bella, but for me, I really like the shade Chow. And Chow is described as a soft golden brown, and that just sounds like the most perfect like spring summer shade, like bronzer type of thing. I love a good bronzer where I can just wear that and not have to worry about wearing a blush and a bronzer at the same time. They also are very complimentary for my skin tone, especially when I gain a little bit of sun. These retail for $28. I feel like that's a little expensive, no? Like at least for Saie. It seems expensive. I do love a baked blush though, and these are baked blushes. It says that they're long wearing wearing as well. Lightweight for a diffused flush of color. So I'm guessing that this is going to be a buildable baked blush, which is really nice when it comes to baked blushes. They do tend to be a little less pigmented in a way, but they're buildable, so you can still get as much pigment as you want. It says that this has plant-derived squalane, glycerin, hyaluronic acid, silica, and mica as well. So a lot of these seem like they're more for hydrating and a little bit of skin diffusion. I find with baked blushes, they always look a little bit more natural than non-baked powder blushes, and I love them. I love a baked blush. I think baked blushes are coming back, and I'm excited for that. They just always give you the softest, warmest flush of color, even if it's kind of a more intimidating color like that baby cool pink. I feel like will actually be a nice contrast from liquid baby pinks that we've seen in the last couple of years, you know. Saie is another brand that I feel like with their products, they go for more of that natural look with a little oomph. So I would say it's kind of like Merit, but a step up. You can get a little more out of their products than Merit, but they're kind of in the same realm in my opinion. The product that I pulled out to kind of curb this craving is actually the MAC Baked Blush in Lovejoy. I don't think I've ever shared this, but this is the mineralized blush in Lovejoy, and this shade was the very first MAC product, and I think the very first blush that I fell in love with back like 12, 13 years ago when I started discovering makeup. This is not the same one. I repurchased this one, and this is the perfect bronzer shade. It's this warm peachy shade on me, and it just always looks good. It always looks beautiful. The only thing with this one in comparison to the Saie one is that this does have a little bit of shimmer to it, but I think it kind of adds to the depth of this product on the skin. Lovely, lovely every time I use it. Let's talk now about the Juvia's Place cream blushes, and this is not a curb because I bought them. This is the only thing from this video that I bought, and I wanted to buy this one because you guys are always asking me for drugstore alternatives for things like creams and liquids and stuff, and I personally was really excited to see that they had launched these. I picked up two shades at Ulta. I got the shade Terracotta and Cheeky Cherry. So this one says, discover the magic of Juvia's Place Blushed Cream Blush, a must-have addition to your makeup collection. Designed to add soft yet vibrant pops of color, this blush is the perfect companion for any look from subtle everyday elegance to dramatic evening glamour. I love that they're kind of talking about the flexibility of the cream blushes. I think a lot of people at first are probably a little hesitant because the Juvia's Place liquid blushes were insanely pigmented off of like one tiny little dot. So I think this is their way of being like, hey, this is going to be the more versatile product if you want something that is going to be on the creamier side of things, but still workable, still blendable. So I think that's nice. We'll see how that works out. It says it has buildable intensity, easy blendability, multi-use magic. So it says it's perfect for cheeks and lips. I find that's the case with pretty much all liquid and cream blushes, and universal shades, and I actually really enjoyed all of the shades that they came out with. I think that they all look so pigmented and saturated, but these two were the ones that I could actually see myself wearing, specifically this shade in Terracotta. I have been on the hunt for the perfect burgundy cream blush shade or liquid blush shade, and I feel like all of the ones like Glossier Black Cherry and Haus Labs Watermelon, I think it was, even Huda Beauty Black Cherry, all of those tend to be a little bit more on the berry side versus being on the burgundy red side of things, but look at this one in Terracotta. That is a burgundy red, is it not? Look how beautiful. It's kind of like a blood red, which is what I have been searching for. I don't have anything like it. And then we have this vibrant Cheeky Cherry shade. And this one, I'm thinking that if it is very like blendable and you can put this on more subtle, I think it'll be a great alternative to something like, also again, Haus Labs Watermelon and more of those watermelon-y watermelon-y shades. And today I really want to use terracotta, so we're gonna do that. I'm gonna go in with my BK A507 brush, and these are $16. I do find with creams and stuff, they do last a very long time, especially if you don't have to use that much, if they're very pigmented. So I'm gonna go in with just a little dab, and then probably, oh yeah, that's a lot of pigment in one go, is it not? Oh, it looks very warm on me. It's pooling a little orange. Pigmented, so pigmented. If you go in with this, you guys, dot it and then tap it on the back of your hand and then maybe pick up what's on the back of your hand, because look, that's really pigmented. I'm not too worried yet because usually when I set down with powder, it does blur and desaturate my blushes. If you're more tan than I am, I'm sure this won't pool as orange, but if you are lighter than me, I can see this kind of pooling a little more on the orangey red side, especially if you're cooler. I do have a neutral undertone, so this is interesting. How do I feel about this? I definitely think it's a better option than those previous blushes that I told you about that I thought would be more like a deep red shade. This looks more like a deep red shade on me than all of those do. That actually blended out really well. You could tell, could you tell that I was a little freaked out? I was like, this is gonna be too much, but no, this looks good. How does it feel? It still feels like a cream. It doesn't dry down matte, like it doesn't dry down like a powder, but it's not giving me any extra hydration. Like it doesn't leave my skin greasy. It's not one of those cream products. I feel like I want to go in with a little more. I'm just gonna do such a light tap and then go back in. I want to deepen mainly on the front half of my face. Okay, while we set the face down with powder, let's go ahead and talk about some fragrances, because there's actually a couple of fragrances that are releasing that I'm very interested in, starting with the Moroccanoil fragrance. So this one I got really excited about. One of my, I think it's my most viewed video, it's like a hair video. I talked about the Moroccanoil treatment, and this was years ago. I want to say it was closer to 8, 9, 10 years ago. That was the very first oil, like hair oil, that I really, really loved and actually made a difference in my hair. But not only that, the fragrance of it is divine, and I still think that to this day. I think it is one of the most beautiful, warm, fresh scents. And for the longest time, I was like, gosh, they need to make this into a perfume. Lo and behold, now they finally have. I feel like this has been a long time coming. I want this so badly. I want it so badly because this has been a fragrance that I have been loving and raving about for years. But like I've said in a lot of videos, my fragrance collection has become a little bit overwhelming to where I don't need any more fragrances. So it's really difficult. It's so easy to buy a new fragrance because it's just a whole experience, because so many fragrances are so different from each other. I don't need it. I do, however, have the Moroccanoil hair treatment still, and I think that will be a really good way for me to curb that craving, because I can just put it in my hair and smell it as I go about my day. So that's an easy curb, but I can't promise you guys that if this ever goes on sale, and the Sephora sale, that I'm not going to buy it, because this fragrance, if you've never smelt it before, is a beautiful, warm summer fragrance in my opinion. This is definitely one of the fragrances that in my lifetime, one of the first ones that I have been obsessed with. For as long as I can, I'm going to hold off on buying it. Even the travel size, I really considered buying the travel size, but I want to be able to like smell it and smell it on my skin and see how it lasts and stuff before I even consider buying it. So I'm definitely going to make my way to Sephora, try it out before I purchase it, like blind purchase it. Okay, Glossier You, they are on a fragrance roll. So they're coming out with Glossier You Fleur, and I was surprised and not surprised to see this. Glossier waited quite a long time to come out with any type of extension to Glossier You. You guys know Glossier You was my only fragrance for years and years before I started to expand my horizons, if you will. Oh, I feel like that blush kind of like went away. Do you see that? it went away and now you can see my hyperpigmentation. I think some of that has to do with the skin tint. I am finding that this is definitely a sheer tint. It's not great for like a full face of makeup, but do you see that? All of my hyperpigmentation. She's showing. Let me put a little bit more of this on. We'll see if it works well on top of powder. Okay, anyways, Glossier You Fleur. It says, again, this is a skin scent, as all of their You fragrances have been. And this one has a top note of mineral salt accord, a heart note of osthamus, what's that? Ylang ylang, apricot skin, and cashmerean, and a base note of ambrox. And I have no idea what this is supposed to smell like. All I got out of that is the base of Glossier You and saltiness. I don't think that any of this smells sweet at all. And ylang ylang I usually really like because it smells nice and warm, but it really depends on what it's mixed with. So I don't know if I'm even tempted to get this. I'm tempted to smell it, but I don't know if it's gonna be anything that I'm gonna absolutely need. It sounds to me like it's gonna be a little bit more of a unisex scent, because I think Glossier You arguably is more of a gender neutral scent. I love the Glossier You Rev and Dew. I think both of those are beautiful and they're very, very different from each other. I'm really glad that they didn't like kind of do the same thing, just added like one new note, you know? Like I could justify having both of them. Out of the two, I love Glossier You Rev. I think that it smells creamy and buttery, slightly sweet, but it still smells super fresh and it has that heart of Glossier You. Saltair has made its way to Ulta, and the only time I had ever tried Saltair was the body wash when I purchased it from Target, like I think sometime last year, and I really liked it, but I honestly hadn't explored it more than that. But now they are at Ulta, and I actually picked up the saltwater vanilla oil, body oil. I have it on my chest right now. I don't know if you guys can see that sheen going on, if you've noticed it like throughout this video, but the shine that it gives my skin as well as the smell of it, it's so good. It's so good. I kind of was like freaking out over this fragrance, and I couldn't decide which one I wanted when I was at Ulta. I wanted the saltwater vanilla, but I couldn't decide if I wanted the body butter, the body oil, or the deodorant. I definitely think I want to try the deodorant because I'm almost out of my current deodorant, and I've been wanting to test out other chemical exfoliant type of deodorants, see if there's any others out there that I liked more than mine. I've been using the Kosas deodorant for years now and I love it, but I'm kind of bored with it, and I feel like it's sort of making my underarms a little darker now, which is weird because it's supposed to have the opposite effect. Anyways, this scent in saltwater vanilla is elite. I think it smells leagues and leagues better than the other scents. Not that the other ones don't smell good, but this one is like beyond those other ones. This is described as a vanilla having creamy sandalwood and sea salt, and you can really smell the saltiness in this, and not in a bad way, not in like a gross, I don't know, savory way, I guess. It smells like a base of vanilla, but it's a warm vanilla because of that creamy sandalwood. And then the sea salt kind of takes it from being a sickly sweet gourmand vanilla to being more of a warm, grounded vanilla. And I love it. It's so good. I've had this, like I said, on my chest this whole time, and my hair has been here, and it doesn't stick to my chest the way that other body oils can, you know? And I put this all over my body last night after my shower, and it dried down in less than 5 minutes, and I was able to put my clothes on, and I love it. I love it so much, and I'm trying not to buy the body butter because I was like, okay, I'll try one, like I'll try the oil, and that'll take care of the hydration as well as give me some glow, and I'll get the scent. But now I love the scent so much that I'm like, I want the body butter. But $20 for the body butter, it was already, I think, $22 for the body oil. And for me, that's kind of expensive, especially because when it comes to body oils, I'm a little weary because of like the stickiness and, you know, the possibility of it just not feeling comfortable. But this body oil, it dries down really well. So I'm happy to pay the $22. And I'm like, I think I want the body butter, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna try. Lastly, I want to talk about a couple of lip products. So first is the Naturium Phyto-Glow Lip Balm Shimmers. They came out with shimmer shades of their lip balms. Naturium is saying it's the same formulation as their standard Phyto-Glow lip balms, and you guys know those are some incredible lip balms. I personally really love them. I love all the shades that I have. I'm pretty sure I have pretty much all of the shades, if I'm honest. They're creamy, they're nice and thick. They actually feel like they're hydrating the lips. And now they've come out with some shimmer glosses or balms. Everyone's coming out with shimmer versions of their lip products. Do you guys think it's a cop-out, or do you think, like, have people been asking for shimmer versions of their favorite, like, creamy, opaque lip products? Because I haven't. But I think shimmer these days is like, it's really becoming a thing. And I wonder if it's the brands pushing it or if it's the audience and the consumer pushing it. So you guys let me know what you think, because I'm a little like, okay, that's cool, but I don't need the same lip product with shimmer in it. That's a good thing for me. I don't know about you guys. Please let me know. But anyways, when it comes to these Naturium lip shimmers, it looks like it's new shades. They came out with 6, one of them being a clear shimmer shade. It's called Stardust. And all of these are new. So it's not like they're taking their existing colors and then just adding shimmer to it. I guess that's a little better. I personally think that the shade Galaxy and Orbit are really beautiful. They look nice, and they come with a doe foot applicator, which I actually think is really nice for the formulation because the formula is quite thick, but it's still creamy. I think it's nice, and I think you can get really precise with application. I know a lot of people will appreciate that. If my Naturium Phyto-Glow lip balm collection wasn't already so large, I'd probably pick up the shade Galaxy and Orbit, but as of right now, sitting here with you guys, do I need to pick one up? I don't. And this reminded me of it. Immediately I was like, oh, it kind of gives the same effect, because the Naturium ones from the swatches I've seen, they look quite sheer with a touch of the color, a touch of the base color, and then shimmer on top of it. So today we're going to be using the e.l.f. Glow Reviver Lip Oil Glimmer Finish in the shade Chocolux. I love this. It's so pretty. It has a minty feel to it and a minty scent to it. Oh, it's so good. And this actually has a really good base pigment too. I talked about this product in my video where I was trying a bunch of different drugstore lip products. I will link that for you guys. Lastly, I did want to note YSL is coming out with lip oils. I'm actually not that excited. I'm actually not that excited. I don't know why I said it like that. I don't own a lot of YSL products. I haven't fallen into it just yet. I really want to try their liquid blushes, but it's just out of my price range right now, and I absolutely don't need any more liquid blushes. These lip oils, I'm interested to see what other people have to say about it, but truly I don't think I need to be in that first wave of creators that are testing it out. I don't think I have very much merit when it comes to YSL lip products, so I don't think that my review of it would be any help for anybody. So I kind of don't like the packaging. I think it looks a little bulky, and I also feel like we've seen it so much. It kind of looks like the Clarins packaging, which, don't get me wrong, Clarins is a quite expensive brand and the lip oils are beautiful, but it just feels like a repetition of what we already have, you know what I mean? So I'd be interested in swatching these, testing them out, seeing what I think is worth it, but personally I don't think I need it, you know? So that's my thought on that. I'm all lip oiled out, to be honest. All right, this is the finished look. I like it. I think this was really nice. And now, have we curbed the makeup craving? You guys let me know. Are you still interested in some of the products that we talked about in this video? Did you start off interested in some of these? I kind of feel like we don't have a super strong lineup. There have been a couple of products that came out shortly before this that I felt like was a little less timely to talk about that I am interested in. You'll probably see me talk about them in my shop with me at Sephora, so stay tuned for that. I think that maybe the only things that I'm really still interested in are probably the Tower 28 blush and the Saie blush. These baked formulas or this like setting powder technology thing I'm so curious about, so definitely going to be swatching those and sharing with you guys my thoughts whether I purchased them or not. I think that this was pretty successful. I'm walking away from this feeling pretty good about the products that we used today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure to like and comment for me. It really does help out my channel. I will leave a similar video here for you guys in our Curbing Makeup Cravings series in case you want to see any other videos that we talk about new makeup. And until the next one, take care guys. Bye.